Everyone thought the shove was the real shock, until they saw how calmly she stood back up. Nobody expected the quiet woman in the corner to be the most dangerous person in the room. The confrontation ignited in bright daylight, sunlight pouring through the mess hall windows, as if nature itself refused to hide what was about to unfold. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. General Marcus Hale had always ruled the base, with the kind of swagger that made junior soldiers scatter at his footsteps. He liked his coffee scalding, his boots spotless, and his authority unquestioned. So when he stormed into the mess hall, barking about lazy recruits, no one dared lift their head. No one, except Sergeant Lila Ward. She was new to the base, quiet, kept to herself. Most assumed she was just another transfer filling a vacancy. Marcus certainly did, and in that blinding hot morning light, he mistook her silence for weakness. He bumped her shoulder deliberately as he passed. The metal tray in her hands rattled. A few soldiers winced, but Lila didn't react. That irritated him. "Move," he snapped, shoving her harder this time. Hard enough that her boots skidded across the floor. A hush fell so fast, the air itself seemed to freeze. Even the ceiling fans hummed more quietly. Dust floated between them like suspended judgment. Lila straightened slowly. Her heartbeat stayed steady. Her mind flickered back to a different sunlit room years earlier. Another superior shoving her, testing her, doubting her. She had sworn she'd never let that happen again. Yet here she was. She thought she'd never see a man like Marcus again. She was wrong. Around her, murmurs spread. A private whispered, "He shouldn't have done that." A corporal shook his head, gripping his cup so tightly it trembled. The atmosphere shifted, charged, tense, expectant. "Something to say, Sergeant." Marcus sneered. She met his gaze, calm, unblinking. "Permission to stand where I already was, sir." A few soldiers inhaled sharply. Marcus stepped closer, close enough that daylight cast a harsh shadow across his face. "You think you're clever." Inside, Lila's pulse whispered warnings. "Stay disciplined. Don't escalate." But beneath that lived another voice, the one forged during years, in a specialized unit whose missions had no names. The one that remembered training moves executed with surgical precision. The one Marcus was about to meet. He reached out, intending to grab her arm. He never made contact. In one fluid motion, so fast most eyes couldn't track, Lila pivoted, redirected his weight, and sent him stumbling forward. Not a cheap shot. Not aggression. A textbook defensive maneuver that protected her without harming him. Gasps erupted. But Marcus, fueled by embarrassment, lunged again. This time she spun. Not out of fear, but control. A precise sweep of her leg. A shift of her center of gravity. And the general found himself slammed onto a dining table, trays rattling, soldiers leaping back as if struck by a sudden wave. He wasn't injured, just disarmed. Shocked. Overpowered by someone half his size, and twice his discipline. Silence swallowed the room. Then came the shift, soft, subtle, powerful. Soldiers stepped closer, forming a semicircle, not to threaten but to witness. To acknowledge what had just happened in this sun-bright space, where truth could no longer hide. Marcus pushed himself up, breath ragged, pride cracked. His eyes darted, searching for someone to blame. But Lila simply stood there, steady as a pillar. "Sir," she said quietly, "respect isn't given by rank. It's earned by conduct." For the first time in years, Marcus had no reply. Later that afternoon, word spread across the base like wildfire. Some feared Marcus would retaliate. Others whispered that perhaps, finally someone had forced him to confront the man he'd become. But something unexpected happened. He walked to the training yard, sun blazing overhead, and sought her out. Not with anger, but humility. "Sergeant Ward," he said, voice low, "teach me what you know." It wasn't weakness. It was awakening. And for the first time, Lila felt a weight lift off her chest, the weight of every moment she'd been underestimated, dismissed, overlooked. Because kindness doesn't vanish. It waits, and it finds its way back. And sometimes it returns in the form of courage, standing tall in broad daylight. If this story moved you, share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful daytime stories like this. Told from the heart, just for you.